Namaste and welcome to lecture 3 of lines and angles. We are continuing our lecture with some special angles. First we did the complementary angles and today we will start with supplementary angles. Now, what are supplementary angles? It is nothing but when the two angles add up to measure of 180 degrees, those two angles are said to be supplementary. So we can say that two angles are said to be supplementary if their measure is 180 degrees. See, now we can take two figures. Suppose one figure I draw it like this and the other one like this. Let us name it AOB and this is CED. Now here this angle is 90 degrees and this angle is also 90 degrees. So both of these angles, when we add them, that is if I add angle AOB plus angle CED or DEC, okay, we will get 90 plus 90, which is equal to 180, and therefore we can say that angle AOB and angle CED are supplementary angles. Okay, these are supplementary angles. One thing is also there, that when the supplementary angles are placed next to each other, that is, if I am drawing a line and let me name it AOB, here there is an arm OC, okay, let us say that this angle is 160 degrees and this angle is 20 degrees. These both the angles are supplementary angles, but they are also called that they are straight angles also, we can say. Okay, how can we say that these are the straight angles? That is, when the supplementary angles are placed next to each other, okay, they form a straight angle. So this is a straight angle, okay, and the straight angle always ends at the measure 180 degrees. So when we can also say that angle AOC plus angle BOC is equal to 180 degrees, therefore they are supplementary. Okay, they are supplementary, but because they are placed next to each other, they form a straight angle also. Why do they form straight angle? Because they are next to each other. These supplementary angles form straight angle. Okay, so these are the two special type of angles. One is a complementary, another one is a supplementary. Now the third one is adjacent angles. Let us learn about adjacent angles. Adjacent itself means baju baju mein, correct? Which is having a common wall or a common arm. We can say it is an adjacent angles. Adjacent rooms are there. Yes. So when the angles are called adjacent angles, when do we say that the two angles are adjacent angles? Then there are some points in it. First thing, they should have the same vertex. Second is they are having a common arm. And the third one is that their other two arms are on the opposite side of the common arm. Okay, so let us draw a figure including all these three steps. First, I will draw two arms like this. Yes, this is nothing but, let me say, C. Here the vertex is O and this is A. Let me draw a common arm from here, which I will name as OB. Here I can say ray OB is the common arm. Yes, now O is the vertex, same vertex of the two angles. Which are those two angles, BOC and BOA? And also we can say that ray OC and ray OA are the opposite sides of the common arm ray OB. Yes, this we can see. This OC and OA are the opposite sides of the common arm OB. So these two angles we can say they are adjacent angles. Okay, therefore I can say that angle AOB and angle BOC are pair of adjacent angles. Correct? They are the pair of adjacent angles. Adjacent angles can measure up to any measure. Correct? So these are the pair of adjacent angles. So two angles are called adjacent angles if they have the same vertex, a common arm, and their other two arms are on the opposite side of the common arm. Then they are called pair of adjacent angles. Now suppose there is a sum given to us that if angle, let us take one example, that if angle A is equal to 75 degrees and angle B is equal to 105 degrees, then are they supplementary or not? What will we do? We'll just add both the angles. Angle A plus angle B, that is 75 plus 105, which is equal to, which will measure up to 180 degrees. So we can say yes, these both angles are supplementary angles and each angle is said to be the supplement of the other angle. Okay, so this way the sums can be asked. Very simple way we can say that angle A is supplement to angle B and angle B is a supplement of angle A because they end up to 180 degrees. Now further we will learn about vertically opposite angles. What are vertically opposite angles? Also we will learn about linear pair. See, what is a linear pair? Linear pair is nothing but if two adjacent angles have one common arm and other two arms are opposite rays, then they are said to form a linear pair. Okay, and the angles of linear pair are supplementary. Got it? So we will learn about linear pair. What is a linear pair? First let me draw a figure which will be showing us that which are linear pair angles, and it will be clear to you also first. Okay, now looking at this figure we can say that there are two adjacent angles. These two are the adjacent angles because it is having one common arm. Yes, and the other two arms, this and this, they are the opposite rays which form the linear pair. They are forming the linear pair. So main points is, first is it should have one common arm, and secondly it should have other two arms should be are opposite rays. Okay, then they are said to form a linear pair. Now the angles forming a linear pair are adjacent angles. One thing we can see, that angle COB and angle AOB, they are forming linear pair, correct? And they are the adjacent angles, but adjacent angles may not form linear pair, but adjacent angles may not form a linear pair. This you need to remember. Okay, so the linear pair are having adjacent angles, but the adjacent angles will not always form a linear pair. Okay, now also we can say that angles of linear pair are supplementary, but supplementary angles may not form a linear pair. Okay, but the next point is for linear pair angles that the angles of a linear pair are supplementary. Okay, but supplementary angles may not form a linear pair. Okay, so two things we have learned. First is that what we saw, that angles forming a linear pair are adjacent angles. Angles which are forming linear pair, they are adjacent angles. And secondly, angles of a linear pair are supplementary, that is angles which are forming linear pair, the same thing, are supplementary angles. But opposite to this is adjacent angles are not always linear pair, and similarly supplementary angles may not form a linear pair. Not form, okay, are not always a linear pair. Correct? Linear pair can be adjacent and supplementary, but adjacent angles and supplementary angles may not be a linear pair. This you need to remember in a linear pair angles. Okay, so now suppose we have one example. It is like this. One angle is say 27 degrees and the other is like this, which is 163 degrees. Then which of the following pair of angles form a linear pair when both the angles are placed side by side? Are they forming a linear pair? 163 plus 27, that is 190, which is not equal to 180. Okay, so we can say it does not form a linear pair. Why? Because two angles may form a linear pair only when the sum of angles are 180 degrees. So for linear pair we should have measure equal to 180 degrees, but that doesn't mean that the supplementary angles are the linear pair, but linear pair are supplementary angles, that we know. Let us take one more example. It is like this. This is 90 degrees. Okay, and the other one is like this, which is 90 degrees. Here we can say 90 plus 90 is equal to 180. So it forms linear pair when placed side by side. Correct? Now one more example let me take, that two angles form a linear pair if two angles form a linear pair, okay, then find what type of angle is one of them. And the meaning of this is if other is an acute angle, a right angle or obtuse angle, that we have to find. See, what of the angle is one of them if other given angle is, say, obtuse angle is given. If the angle is obtuse, then to form a linear pair, if the angle is acute, not obtuse. If the angle given is acute, then the other angle should be obtuse to form the linear pair. Yes. Secondly, if one angle given is right angle, then definitely we saw in the example, the other angle should also be the right angle. Acute is nothing but it is less than 90. This will be greater than, when they both add up, it will be 180, because obtuse cannot be more than 180 degrees. We know right angle is 90 degrees, so the other will also be 90 degrees to form a linear pair to get 180 degrees. And the third one is obtuse angle. Then the other angle should be acute angle. Okay, so this kind of questions can be asked. Now one more example we can take, that suppose a measure is given. Suppose an angle is given like this with a measure of 30 degrees. Let me say AOB, and the other one is like this, say DEF, and this is 70. We have to check which angle is this. So what will we do? Whether it is a complementary or supplementary or a linear pair, which angle is this? So let us add both the angles. Let me add angle O plus angle E. That is 30 plus 70, which is equal to 90 degrees. Sorry, which is equal to 100 degrees, correct? And this is not equal to 90 degrees, nor this is equal to 180 degrees. So these two angles are not complementary also, and not supplementary also. They may ask you a question that check whether they are complementary, or they may ask you check whether they are supplementary. Okay, for complementary it should add up to 90 degrees, and for supplementary it should be 180 degrees, but none of the condition is satisfied. So these angles are not complementary or not supplementary. Next example is 65 degrees, and one is here which I can say 25 degrees. Let me measure CED, ABC. Let us add angle CED plus angle ABC. This is 65 plus 25. This will be 90. Hence they are complementary angles. Yes, they are complementary angles because the measure ends up to 90 degrees. So both the angles are complementary angles. Correct. Now one more example. Let us take, suppose the measure is given as, let me take this 110 degrees. It will be more easier. One angle is 110 and the other one is 70 degrees. What will we say? This is A and this is B. Angle A plus angle B, 110 plus 70, which is equal to 180. So these are the supplementary angles. Okay, These angles are the supplementary angles. Now, suppose an angle drawn is given to us like this, and we have to say whether this angle 2 and angle 1, which are marked, are adjacent or not. Then what conditions should it satisfy? Firstly, the same vertex, second, the common arm, and the opposite sides. Okay, so the two angles, these are the adjacent angles. Yes. Why this is the adjacent angle? 2 and 1, why they are adjacent angles? Because the same vertex O, the common arm we can say OB between angle 2 and angle A, and there are two arms on the opposite sides of the common arm. This is the common arm. One side is this and one side is this. These are the two arms on the opposite side of the common arms. Therefore, angle 2 and angle 1 are adjacent angles. Okay. Let me take one more figure for the same. Suppose it is given like this. Angle 2 is here and angle 1 is here. Then are they adjacent angles? Yes. Again it is a common arm with a common vertex, and both these are the opposite arms to the common arms. Yes, so we can say angle 2 and angle 1 are adjacent angles because first thing is same vertex. Second thing is common arm. And the third one is that other two arms, this one and this two. This is the first reason. Second reason, and the third reason is other two arms are on the opposite sides of the common arm. Hence, they are adjacent angles. Correct? This way you have to check whether they are adjacent angles or not. Let us take one more example for adjacent angles. Yes, say if it is given like this to us, angle 2 and angle 1. Are they adjacent angles? No, because there is no common vertex and no common arm. Angle 2 and angle 1 are not adjacent angles because they do not have a common vertex. Yes, and also no common arm. So this way you need to check whether they are adjacent angles or not. Let me take one more example, that is, if one measure of the angle is given and we have to find the complement of the same angle, like complement of each of the angles given to us. Find the complement of each of the following angles. See, I told you that angle B is complement to angle A and angle A is complement to angle B, right? But here only one angle is given to us, that is 70 degrees. Suppose it is given to us. Let us name this as angle A. Angle A is 70 degrees. We know that complementary angles are nothing but equal to 90 degrees. So in place of angle A, I will put 70 degrees plus angle B, which is equal to 90 degrees. So angle B is equal to 90 minus 70. Hence angle B is equal to 20 degrees. So we have just found that the complement of 70 is 20. Okay. Next example for the same question. If 30 degrees is given to us, let me name this as angle B. Angle B is 30 degrees. Angle A plus angle B is equal to 90 degrees. Angle A plus 30 degrees is equal to 90 degrees. Angle A is equal to 90 minus 30 degrees. Hence, angle A will be equal to 60 degrees. So, I can say complement of 30 degrees is 60 degrees. Yes, this way you need to find the complement of the given angle. Similarly, if the question is asked to us is find the supplement of each of the following angles, then what will you do? Let me say one angle given to us is 75 degrees. Let us name this as angle A is equal to 75. Supplementary means angle A, we need to find angle B here. Angle A plus angle B should be 180 degrees. Angle A is 75 plus angle B, which is equal to 180 degrees. So angle B is equal to 180 minus 75. And this is nothing but, let us calculate this. This will be 5 because this will become 10, 7. 7 minus 7 is 0 and 1. So we'll get 105 degrees. Correct? So angle B will be equal to 105 degrees. So complement of 75 is 105 degrees and both will become a supplement. Supplement of 75 is 105. Let me take one more example. That is 102. Let us name this as angle B is equal to 102 degrees. So angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degrees. Angle A plus 102 is equal to 180. Angle A is equal to 180 minus 102. Correct? Let us calculate this. 102. This will become 10, 7. So here it is 8, 7 and 0. So angle A will be 78 degrees. So supplement of 102 degrees is equal to 78 degrees. Let us try 102 plus 78. Let us add them. Are they forming 180 degrees? 8 plus 2 is 10. 7 plus 1 is 8 and 1 yes. So supplement of 102 degrees is 78 degrees. So this kind of sums may be asked and you have to follow the same method. Okay. So here I end my lecture today. Thank you very much. We'll be meeting in the next lecture with vertically opposite angles and more angles regarding the same. Thank you very much. Please do like, share and subscribe our channel.